and a warm welcome to my channel, Joyful Living. This is a channel where I will be sharing my tips and tricks on how to get a stronger body and a stronger mind. My name is Linda and I'm a personal trainer. I love to take the holistic approach on fitness and to see the whole picture, to see how mind and body works together. So this is what I will be sharing with you on this channel. And my experiences and my thoughts on these topics. And this is my very first video, so I'm really excited to be here and to have you here. And I hope you want to follow along on this journey. I hope you want to become one of my very first subscribers and to stick with me through this whole journey and learn more about yourself and your mind and your body. So if you're interested in learning more, please subscribe and follow along on this journey with me. Today's topic is about how quitting social media gave me a stronger body and a stronger mind. And when I say social media, I mean Facebook and Instagram, because those are the two channels that I was addicted to. I do use Pinterest and YouTube because they give a lot back to me, and I'm not addicted to them in the same way. And yeah, I just love those social media platforms. And yeah, so I'm gonna start talking about, like, number one, that was that I started trusting my own mind and body, which is huge. And that happened by not comparing myself to others. That happened by taking away all that shallowness that we see a lot on Instagram and Facebook. Because I was no longer defined by others or how others saw me. I started defining myself as, well, I started listening to myself. I wasn't trying to be someone I wasn't, because yeah, I had the energy to actually listen to me, to listen within. And it was a dramatic change, because all of a sudden I didn't think less of me as a person. I actually started seeing my own value. I actually started liking myself. I actually became someone likable. Before, I was just trying to be up there with everyone else. I was just trying to look perfect, or I wasn't trying to look perfect, but I was feeling bad that I wasn't looking perfect like all those Instagram models or all those perfectly dressed moms, or, you know, like, I just could start being myself and feeling good about it instead of feeling bad about not trying to do enough. And I started working out because I like my body, not to show the world that I was working out or that this is what you should do. And I actually just, like, I started trusting my own mind and my own body in a way that, like, this is how you should do it, not because everyone else is, but because, yeah, this is you. This is what you want for yourself. And I realized that I was trying to be this, like, perfect parent that I'm not. I mean, I try to do my best, but all of a sudden I started trusting, like, everyone else isn't perfect. Everyone is kind of like you. You try to do your best. You try to feed your kids vegetables as often as you can, and you try to cook good food for them, but you don't always have the energy, and you don't always feel like you can do your best because you just don't have enough to give some days, because you've done too much. So I'm not perfect, and neither are those other parents. They struggle just as I do often, but that's not shown in the same way on Facebook or on Instagram. And I had to get away from that to actually start trusting myself and trust what I was doing. So that was really, really good. And I also, like, by doing that, I started taking care of my environment, my home, and I was just doing more things for myself instead of doing it to show up that perfect facade and be that perfect, not that I'm perfect in any way, but like the perfect picture of how life should be. Now I just do what my body tells me and what my mind tells me that is good for me and my family and my kids and people around me. So that's amazing. And also, like, this leads up to the next point that that I want to talk about, the number 2. So number 2 is I found what I wanted for myself, because I had the energy to focus deeper, and because I took away the shallowness. That made me realize I had to have a calmer surrounding, and because my mind was stressing out, there was just too much happening inside of me, like mentally and physically and everything. So I started decluttering, and I started organizing, like my drawers and my closet and my home. I just started making things lighter, and yeah, and I designed my space so that it would be like more relaxing. I hadn't really taken care of my home in a way that I wanted to, because it was just a home, and now it's kind of everything. Not everything, but I really want it to be cozy. I really want it to be inviting, and it means a lot to me to have a home, to come home to something that's inviting, and to come home to a place where I love every item. And that's what I'm working towards, to love everything in my home. And I mean, so I started designing my place, or my space, like every room, in order to feel relaxed, in order to feel organized. Because when feeling relaxed and organized, I kind of trick my mind into being more relaxed and organized. So it kind of goes two ways. Like, if you think you're disorganized, you probably will be. But if you see yourself as an organized person, you will become more organized. So I started like acting the role, kind of. And I've always seen myself as that person who kind of kills their plants, and I couldn't take care of plants, and therefore I barely have any, or had any. Now all of a sudden I started finding that plants made me calmer. So I started bringing in more plants into my home, and it made me feel better and lighter and happier. So it gave a lot to me to just bring in more plants, and I don't kill them. I take care of them, and I love them, and I even talk to them. I mean, I take care of them, and it feels amazing to not be that person who kills their plants, but to actually, I am a person who can take care of plants, and that feels amazing. And not only that, like, I mean, there are so many things happening. I've been taking care of projects that I have not taken on since we moved in 6.5 years ago, just because I haven't had the motivation and the energy, and I just haven't felt like the need to do it. But now I really feel the need to do it, because I'm finding what I want for myself and what I need for myself, and that feels amazing. So yeah, that's just, there are so many things I realize I want and need in my life that I hadn't seen while all this other stuff was showing up on Instagram and Facebook, because I was just trying to be someone I'm not, and now I'm trying to be the person I am and be happy with it. So to go on to number 3, it was that I started taking care of my mind and body in a completely different way. I could focus more on being present in my body, and therefore I could listen like deep in within myself, and see what my mind and body was telling me that it needed. For example, like I didn't take my camera with me to the gym because it distracted me. I needed to be focused on my workouts. So when I stopped taking the camera with me to the gym, my workouts got better, they got more focused, I got better results, and I just felt better because I didn't feel the need to like show the world what I was doing. I just needed to show myself, and it made me take better care of myself in a way that I saw what I needed. And I didn't take the camera with me on my walks to show the world what I was seeing, like all the beautiful nature and everything. I could instead experience it. I could instead see the nature. I could instead enjoy every little moment on that walk, because previously I had been like, all the time when I was walking, I was just like checking Facebook or Instagram. I was just scrolling. And for what? I mean, I didn't enjoy what was around me. I didn't listen to the sounds of nature. I didn't see all those birds flying. I didn't smell the flowers. I mean, I didn't focus on anything because I was just like so into my phone. And now that I look back at it, it's just horrible that I was doing that to myself, because it didn't give me anything to do that, really. So I'm so happy I stopped doing that. And also, like, especially when it comes to my workouts, I realized that I was just trying to be extremely strong and show off to the world that I'm this amazingly strong personal trainer, because that's how I should be. But I realized, like, after giving birth, my body wasn't where it should be or where I wanted it to be, and I hadn't listened. So it just gave me more pain. So I took off weights, and I found weaknesses in my body that I hadn't realized were there before, or I hadn't listened to them. And by doing this, I started strengthening myself, and all of a sudden I actually started feeling stronger than I ever had, which I don't know, it's just magical in a way to me, that by taking off the weights and listening, I actually started gaining more control of my body. I mean, I know all these things, but still I saw myself as, this is how a personal trainer on social media should be like. And I tried to show off that facade, but I wasn't that person, because I was hurting from having kids, and I was hurting from not having taken care of my body in a way from the base and up that I should have, even though I know very well how to do it. So my body started yearning for more calmness, and I started mixing in yoga into the equation and started moving in different types of ways, which was very beneficial to my body. And yeah, my body just couldn't manage any more stress because of like mental reasons and because of lack of sleep and stuff like that. So I can work out the entire life. I don't have to stress to get anywhere. I don't have to stress to like lift a certain amount of weight or anything like that. I'm gonna get there if I just listen. And that goes for everyone. You're gonna get there, but you're gonna have to listen to your body and see what it needs. And I was just too shallow to do that, and now I'm just me. I'm just listening within, and that is giving me so much back. So I'm so happy I did this. And I hope this gives you something to think about. Maybe you're not there at all, but I hope this like pops something up in your mind that I just want to give you something to think about, okay? All right, so let's just go on to number 4. So number 4 is that they all tie into each other kind of, but it's the fact that I started being more mindful and present. I started not only listening to myself, I also started listening to others in a different way. I actually started hearing what people were saying. I started being more present and focused on my kids because before I had been so obsessed with my phone. I just like so many other parents that I see in the park or whatever, they're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and not really listening and seeing their kids in a way that I think all kids deserve. And I felt like I couldn't lose all this time with my kids just because I was trying to get this attention on social media. But because what's that giving me when I have kids who need me? And the fact that I didn't have to document and just could enjoy made me realize and be more thankful for all the things that I have. I mean, my kids are healthy. I have a wonderful husband who I love so much and who is so amazing in every way. And I just started thinking about like our home, how wonderful our home is, and how much I love living here, and how grateful I am, and how happy I am that we actually have the chance to live like this, and that we have the like financial needs to pay the rent and to like have a roof over our head and to have a family that we love. And it means so much now that I'm actually seeing what I have and not what everyone else has. Like, oh, that person's got this amazing house and it's perfectly designed and they have a cleaning lady and they have someone cook for them or whatever. Like, not having to see what everyone else has and not having that disturb me in a sense, and not seeing all those perfect moms who cook all those perfect meals, or all the couples that do tons and tons of things together. It just made me realize that what I have is what I want. I have a home that I love. I have a family that I love, and I don't want anything more. I don't want anything else. The only thing I'm striving towards right now is to be pain free, and to find out like what I want to do in the long run with my life. So it made me start to think about that I was going against my values because I wasn't living the life I wanted. Like, I wasn't being the person I am, or I wasn't showing off the values that I actually have. So I started realizing that I need to live more in line with my values, and I started investigating kind of what are my values really. I started thinking about this a lot, and what do I want to do for the rest of my life, or not for the rest of my life, but what do I want to do in the short term and in the long term, and how am I going to get there? So it's really interesting. There are so many things happening in my head and in my body just by quitting social media. I don't know, it's just crazy. That's how much it has affected me. Yeah, and I'm just so much more mindful and so much more present at the moment. And I want to keep on being like this because I feel my feelings in a totally different way, and I appreciate things so much more now because I see what I have in a completely different way. And I hope you can do it too. To really, really stop and think and see around you, like, what do you have close to you? Not the things there are in that social media world. Not that that's not good, because it can be amazing as well, but what do you have in your surrounding? What do you have to be thankful for? And then number 5, last but not least, is that I accepted the mind and body connection. I realized how strongly connected mind and body is. I mean, I've been working with seeing the whole picture with my clients, but I hadn't really thought of it like that when it comes to myself. I don't know why, that's just really weird, but I mean, being burnt out, the best step I could take was to quit social media and to do it for my future self, and to actually being able to focus the way I have. I do have a lot of pain and a tense body. In so many ways, quitting social media meant that I put my phone down a lot more. And what that in turn meant was that I started moving more. I started sitting up straighter. I mean, I didn't look down on my phone all the time, so I didn't get all this tenseness in my back and in my neck. The same way, I also started taking care of my home, as I said before, which in turn led to me cleaning a little bit more, and natural movement came in to life in a more, yeah, it's just everything went more normal, or I started moving more normal, not just sitting still all the time looking at my phone. And that in turn also made me change positions more, because sure, I was watching YouTube, but I mostly watched it on my computer, and I was sitting up kind of straight, and I could listen to it while I was picking up things or toys or just moving around. And I do have a long way to go, like with my pain and stuff, but the fact that I also started breathing and being more mindful meant that I realized I was taking really shallow, like really, all my breath, I was always breathing up in my chest. So when I was thinking about that, I realized I had to start breathing down in my belly instead. And when I was doing that, I realized that a lot of like stress and knots and stuff were starting to move around, and I was getting less in pain. And since I'm also like surrounding myself with things I love, that makes me calmer. It makes my stress levels go down. It makes my body feel happier. And when I move more, like I go for more walks now, because I don't have to spend time on my phone, or I didn't have to do that before either, but I just like, everything is calmer, and when everything is calmer, my body is feeling better. So I realized, like, the more I took care of my body, the more my mind gave back to me, and the more I took care of my mind in like mindfulness, breathing, less stress, the more my body was giving back to me. So I really saw the mind-body connection really well, like really clearly. And I've been starting to like implement this more and more all the time now, because I realized just by breathing how much it gives back to my body. So if anything, just take a few deep breaths and see how that feels in your body, because it can do a lot for your mind and body, and the mind and body are indeed connected. And I will be talking more about this kind of stuff, and I will be sharing more about both my experience and my thoughts and everything like this further along. So I really hope that you want to stick around and subscribe to my channel and follow along on me, on my journey, right here, right now. And I'm happy I'm here, and I'm happy I'm starting to do this and starting to share this with you, because I think I can gain a lot from sharing with you, and I really hope that you will gain a lot by listening to this. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and I would love to chat with you down in the comments. Have you tried quitting social media, or do you feel like doing it? What's scary about it, or what's challenging about it, or have you quit? How did that feel? Please tell me. I'm really curious to find out. So I hope I'll see you down in the comments. Have a good day. Bye.